Hi, Jason. Thank you for joining this interview. What's your connection to hip hop?
Oh man, my connection to hip hop is it started with the music, of course, but at the same time, I feel like of course, the DJing aspect of it too. But then uh, the dance, I start off as a b-boy, and that's one of the four elements of hip hop, at
Yeah.
least the original hip hop. Um, the whole culture itself, but then also understanding the history of it. That's something that has really for me, the when I understand like, okay, like this is where it came from, and then seeing how it kind of evolved into this whole um like iterations, like there's been like multiple iterations of hip hop
Mhm.
up until this point. So it's cool to kind of just to be able to look at it and appreciate it.
Yeah.
And I say this is with a kind of like a grain of salt because I'm uh clearly not someone of a black or brown community, like from the one of the black or brown communities, but um it's a very like interesting space that I'm in, like,
Yeah.
and I know you asked a question about that later, but we'll get into that.
Yeah.
But I still feel connected to it in the
Mhm.
sense of like it's impacted my life and it's helped me understand and be more like empathetic to people too, especially from
Mhm.
those communities, like understanding like like if like you can't respect the culture but not respect the people too. So
Yeah.
it's ultimately kind of like been this thing of like this is what kind of like drew me to it, but then this is what helped me like keep like appreciating it more and not just seeing it as like, oh, I'm like I want to like build with that, versus like trying to take away something like I don't know. It's a very interesting space that I'm in,
Yeah.
as like someone of my background,
Yeah.
but
So that kind of goes to one of the questions, which is if you think hip hop should be inclusive or exclusive.
yeah, I think it should be inclusive in the sense that like uh let me say this. I think it should be exclusive in the sense that I like people that are from those communities themselves,
Mhm.
like they should be the ones kind of like leading the charge or in the
Right.
driver's seat, if you
Yeah.
will. And
Yeah.
then I don't want to say that I don't think I've gotten a pass on anything. That's like
Uh,
I don't want to be like, oh yeah, I got a pass or anything like that.
yeah.
'Cause that's kind of just yeah, I don't want to I don't want to be that guy. But I will say that like if you come at it from like you said, a respectful angle and
Yeah.
an angle of like appreciation and of giving back to this community and the people itself, like I think ultimately that is kind of where you want to be if you're not from, you know,
Yeah.
from that I don't even want to say ethnicity, just that from that culture, because
Right.
culture is really like the number one thing that it is.
Yeah. So one of the other questions is how did you discern that hip hop was the right way for you to uh, express yourself artistically?
It I don't know, man. There's so many like I don't want to get like too into it but or anything, but
Mhm.
like like I've always loved jazz music. Uh I've loved funk music, of course, too, but
Mhm.
uh like soul records, like and these are all the things that hip hop has kind of sampled in a sense too. So
Yeah.
um I don't know, I think it kind of just all leads into it in the sense of like uh yeah, I don't know. I was influenced by a lot of these things and then like when hip hop was like introduced into my life, it kind of came at a point where I was still learning about just music in general, right?
Mhm.
And hip hop, there's so many different like subgenres of it. But it started with the music, it started with the
Mm,
music and how like uh just how it was all put together, the sampling and then the use of the drums. Uh but it for me it just like it felt like a way out in a sense.
mhm.
And for a lot of people who were originally doing hip hop back in the day, that was their way to kind of get away from everything,
Yeah.
or to party in
Yeah.
a sense because a lot of it was like neighborhood block parties, so
Yeah.
um, if people wanted to have a good time and to let loose a little bit, that's the place to go to.
Yeah.
And for me, it was kind of more this. It was more the um I was I was kind of in this like thing of like, oh, I have to be a doctor, I have to be a lawyer, I have
Yeah.
to go to a UC school or Ivy League school or something like that. These
Yeah.
these kind of like things in my household, it allowed me to kind of like break away from that for a second and not have to um be or to follow that path in a sense necessarily.
Uh-huh.
Uh it kind of set me on this like trajectory in a sense, like a different trajectory, which allowed me to meet, people like you and yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's the one medium where I feel very, I don't want to say comfortable, but I would
Mhm.
say more like um it feels good. It just feels
You feel like yourself?
yeah,
Yeah.
I feel like I can find a lot of myself in it.
Okay. Nice. Was there one particular album like growing up, like hip hop album that you were like, oh man, like this that is what I really I don't know necessarily connect with, but we were like I listened to that like a repeat when I was in 10th grade, like every day or something.
Mm. There were a couple moments. I would say seeing like people like breakdancing, like seeing
Uh,
it live in person or seeing Michael Jackson on TV
yeah.
and like doing his thing. I'm like, dang, like that's crazy. With the dancing aspect, of course, like
Mm.
that was like kind of like my like it was in junior high. I was like invited to like a breaking session and
Uh,
that like changed my life completely. I was like, oh, what is this? I want to do
yeah.
this like all the time, like
That's cool.
and then with the music, the introduction of like uh it's weird, like not weird, but like you have the commercial side of it. You have like
Uh,
your like like you're really like commercial hip hop, like
yeah.
your Nellies of the world,
Uh-huh.
you know? Uh, and then you have like your like underground like backpacker hip hop that you have,
Yeah.
you have that. And then so I was kind of in between where a Korean like I would say like older brother, not like older brother, but like,
Yeah.
he was like a family friend that like
Yeah.
was like an older brother to me and he was the one that put me onto like Mos Def and
Nice.
Talib and Common and like the, like
Yeah.
what it originally kind of started off as. And then at the same time, I was like getting exposed to like the Nellies
Yeah.
and like the Dr. Dre and like, like that side of things too. So a lot of like West Coast hip hop
Yeah.
influenced my life too, especially like the G-Funk era. Like that really
Oh yeah.
opened up a lot of my like mind to a lot of this stuff too. But originally I was on that like East Coast like backpacker, like Mobb Deep, like all that stuff.
Hmm.
And then I've always kind of like leaned into the more like lyrical side of hip hop, not necessarily saying like, oh, woke rap or like not, it's not like always that, but
Yeah.
people that actually use their words and it's not, there's nothing wrong with mumble rap or anything like that. I
Uh,
realize that it's more of a vibe than an actual like message that they're, sending.
yeah.
But for me, I tend to lean t towards people who like Doechii, Kendrick, people, J. Cole, like
Hmm.
people who can like really like tell a story and like
Yeah.
be able to like get it off in like this like nice, like presentable way.
Yeah. So I guess one of the last questions I can get to is who's influencing your work right now?
Kendrick is like for sure. He's kind of like when I was coming into my coming of age in a sense.
Hmm.
Like he was also coming up at the same time too. So I felt like I kind of like grew up with him in a sense,
Yeah.
like seeing his journey, like and then me coming into my own journey. I felt like I was on the kind of like like same timeline in a sense,
Hmm.
or just not even from like a life standpoint, but just more of like a just like as a person standpoint, like it like age wise, we're on the kind of like same timeline. So
Yeah.
he's definitely been someone that's influenced a lot of like how I like to operate, you know?
Hmm.
Like he's also shown a lot of like respect to like because he's from LA, he's from Compton, like and he understands like his own culture, like within like how he fits within that, but then
Hmm.
how he also like shows respect to all the other cultures, like to all the Latinos out there. He like
Yeah.
shows mad love to them and like like understands and respects that like California is technically part of Mexico. It
Yeah.
was Mexico at a certain point.
Yeah.
So
Like,
things like this, it's like I like artists like that. Like Kendrick has inspired me a lot. Um, that's more of like a recent
hmm.
reference, but even like excuse me, back in the day, I would say like Nas, the way he just like
Hmm.
I don't know what it was just something about him, like the way he carried himself, like
Yeah.
and he's like from the streets, like I'm not saying I can really relate to that in a sense, but I have been through my fair share of being out there, being
Uh-huh.
outside in a sense, without getting to it too much. So like Nas always like, going back to the storytelling thing, like he
Yeah.
was always able to like paint this like landscape, of
Yeah.
like this place, New York. Like and it's always had this like kind of allure to it because I've like, it's on the other side. Like I've never experienced this. With like
Yeah.
Kendrick, he kind of encapsulates like the experience that at like LA is West Coast like
Yeah.
experience. But for me, like hearing Nas growing up too, it was like, yeah, it was so cool to hear that perspective.
Hmm.
Even if I don't like know anything too much about that, like it was giving me insight as to like, oh, this is how people live life.
Yeah. So I guess we've hit all the bases on the last question, but I guess wrapping it up, what makes a great hip hop record?
Uh man, we already talked about the
Yeah.
storytelling, of course. And like the flow and the like of course artistry, but like the creativity within that, like
Yeah.
like how they're doing it. And I find that like uh being able to find or being able to take something that's not I don't want to say like so complex, but something that has a lot of depth and layers to it, and being able to get that message across in I don't want to say like a simple way, but like in a very like effective and just very like it's like not to the point, but like they know how to like be like how to be like almost like surgical with the way
Yeah.
they like
Yeah.
cut, with their flow.
Very
So like
meticulous. Yeah.
yes, like meticulous and that like every word is like calculated almost like MF Doom.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like
Yeah.
like bro, his cadence, it's like it's next level the way he like
Yeah.
it's almost mathematical. Like
Uh-huh.
Doom is definitely like he's top two, top three for me.
Well, thank you so much for doing this interview. I think we got everything covered. Yeah, I really appreciate it.
Of course, man, of course. It's good
Awesome.
to see you, man, for
Good
real.
seeing you too, man. All right,
Yeah.
I'll talk to you later.
All right, bro.
All
All
right,
right.
thank
Take
you.
care.